All right, students, this is what you need today. A ruler, your pencil set, and your sketchbook. I would like you to turn to page 25, and then what we're gonna do is just quickly turn it over, and we're gonna work on page 26 right here. This could be your first assignment of creating some original artwork, and you're definitely gonna need your ruler today. And I would say in your pencil set, we need something that you can erase really easily. And so I would grab your 4H pencil and an eraser, and you can choose whichever eraser you like. I'm just going to choose the plastic vinyl eraser, which you all know about. So we have these things, and in the assignment it says please use your notes on contrast, emphasis, pattern to create an original artwork. So if I turn to those pages, let me turn to them. I have contrast and emphasis on one page, and you know about that. And we just wrote down our pattern notes, so you should know about that as well. And so you can always turn back to these things and look at them if you need to. That's why they're there. They're the answers for you. And let me turn back to my page 26. So we have those notes, and I can turn back anytime I need to. And it says, number one, first draw a 6-inch square with a 1/2-inch border around it in your sketchbook. And it says, watch this video if you don't know how to do that. And so what I'm gonna do, there's this perforated edge right here, and I have the top of the paper and the side of the paper, and I'm gonna line my ruler up with the edges to help me create this border, okay? If I measure this from the perforated edge to here, it's 7 inches. And if I was to do 6 inches, that would not give me a 1/2-inch border around the edge. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to, first of all, measure from the top a 1/2-inch down. And so it's gonna be right about here. So I'll just make a line, and 1/2 inch is the larger one, this line right here, between the 1 and the 0. And so that is gonna give me the 1/2 inch at the top. So I'm gonna line my ruler up here and the edge of it on the perforated edge to get nice and straight. Always trust the straight edge of your paper to help you, and it'll line you up usually and get you a nice straight edge. And so I'm just gonna draw lightly a nice line at the top, and that's gonna give me the 1/2-inch border at the top. Now I need a 1/2-inch border on the side, and so what I'm gonna do is I'll just line the edge. Yeah, there we go, line the edge. I'll go 1/2-inch right here, and then I'm gonna go to 6, and I'll go to a 1/2-inch there, and now I have the border on both of those sides. And so now all I have to do is measure down 6 inches from here. And so there's 1/2-inch, so I need to go to 6.5 inches all the way down here and mark that. And that is gonna give me this line. I can just line it up on the top of the page, sorry. And then draw this line straight down. And that'll give me a 1/2-inch border on the side. And then I can take my ruler, line it up on the edge there, and it should be 1/2-inch. If it's not 1/2-inch, like this is slanted, so all I have to do is erase, and this is why we have the 4H pencil. So we can erase nice and lightly, get rid of it, and then what I can do is go back, line up those two lines, and then draw, and I have a straighter 1/2-inch line there. So I have the top figured out and the side. Now I need to do the bottom. So I'm gonna measure out to, what was it, 6.5 again? So I'll line this up on the edge here, go there, there's a 1/2-inch, and I'll measure this at 6.5, and I actually can just draw a straight line over. And I don't have to worry about down here having a 1/2-inch border because there's a ton. Then I'll go over here, and you have these two lines marked out, right there and right there. So I'll just take my ruler, put my pencil down. I like doing that first. Put my pencil down, then taking my ruler over and lining it up with the edge of the pencil, and then lining it up with the bottom mark, and then draw a line, and you have your border. And this is gonna give us our little workspace for today. And so if any of your lines are crooked or slanted, this is the best time to erase. I'm noticing this one isn't perfect, so I'm just gonna erase it really quickly, because it's always easier to correct things at the beginning than later on and afterwards. When you have to erase everything, you're like, why is this messed up? So it's always, just like spilt milk, always better to clean it up first. So now we have this box, and this box measures 6 inches. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure every 2 inches. So here's 2, here's 4, and then 6 will be that one. And I'll measure at the bottom and I'm measuring from the same side. So 2, and then 4, and then there's 6. And then I'll take my ruler, put my pencil on the mark I want to make, because the width of the pencil sometimes takes up some space. And so I will line it up there, and I'll go down here, line it up on the edge where I want it to go, and draw a line down. And I'll do the same here. Take my pencil, put it on the mark I want, take my ruler to it, and then line it up at the bottom and make a line. Okay? And if you get any of this, you can always erase. Now on the sides, what I'm going to do from the top is go down 2 inches. So I'll line it up, 2, and then 4. I'm going to take it to the side, make sure I'm measuring from the top here, and then 2. And you always want to measure from the same edge. So I don't want to measure from this side and go upwards, because the lines might be off. And so if you're measuring from one end, always measure from the same side. So I'll put my pencil there, take my ruler to it, and then draw the line across. And put my ruler here. And now I have my grid of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 6 by 6 equals 9 equal parts. And this is where I'm going to create my pattern. If you want to, what you can do down here is just make a 2-inch. Maybe I'll start at 1 and go over to 3. And then go down from there 2 inches. So right there. Boom. And maybe 2 inches there. And now what I can do is plan out a pattern that's going to repeat just by using this one square. So I have this planning area, and once I get this square filled out, then I'll repeat it over here. And so if I look at the instructions once more, it says, please use your notes. So I can go back to my notes and flip through, and my notes say that a pattern is an organized repetition of art elements. So we have shape, we have color, we have lines. So you can use any of those. And what we're going to do is create a pattern. There's different types of patterns here for you if you want to choose. Mosaic, but that's mostly with glass and rocks, so we'll probably not do that. Crossing building materials, woven, spiral, widening. Those are just types of patterns. But we're going to just draw a pattern on here. And you saw a bunch of patterns in class today. And then if I turn to contrast and emphasis, it says contrast shows the difference in between the art elements. And so we can show some difference, so like color or value or shape, you can do that within there. And then emphasis is that something stands out. Something stands out. And so if I'm looking in my little planning area, I might start with like, okay, I'm thinking I want, and you can use your ruler if you want, or you can freehand it, but remember pattern has to be repeatable. And so something you might want to do is some artists like to plan out theirs by putting like extra grids and be like, this is going to be half that side, this is going to be half this side, okay, and then this is going to be about center here, and then this will be center here. And then all I have to do now is be like, okay, these are my planning areas. I want something that goes like, maybe like this. And because I have these guidelines, I know that I could do this repeatedly, or close to being repeatedly, over and over again. Now, they say patterns are a great way to practice meditation, in that monks would draw patterns, or mazes almost, to get into a sense of meditation. And if you're seeing some of your patterns, like this one's a little bit smaller than some of the other ones, you can just go back and correct it. Remember, this is your work. And so we're creating a pattern, something that is repeatable. I like these edges for me. You don't have to do that for yours. And so what you can do is whatever you want. If you want to put a square in here, a circle, if you want to make this, SpongeBob falling down, you can do that. But what you're going to do is take whatever you plan here and then put it into this box and repeat it 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 and repeat it. And so you're gonna have an original pattern here. And I think that makes sense. I'm gonna start working in time lapse so you can see me through this process, and then maybe I'll give you some ideas. But think about your own original pattern and what you can do, okay? So you can see I filled out my pattern. There are some spots that like I messed up here, and there's some of the circles are a little bit off, but that is okay. What I'm gonna do now is grab my eraser and then go and try to fix those things. Like if I don't like them, I'll just fix them. And so we'll clean these things up and make them so that they actually look the way I want them to. And trying to remember my original pattern. So like this one's short right here, so I want to make that longer. So it comes down a little bit longer, and it needs to go up a little bit higher, right? Oh, wait, that's the corner. So I need to be careful because I'm changing things for my pattern. I thought this was the center, but really this was the center. So it's always helpful to actually look at one square at a time and try to manipulate and fix it. So if I'm actually looking at my design, I'm looking here, I'm thinking this square right here is decent. It matches up with my plan. Then I'll go to this square. I'm just gonna look at this square. I'm looking at it, and I see that this is a little bit too wide, and so I can just erase that a little bit there after I adjust it. Then I can go to this one, just looking at this square right here now. I see that I messed up there, and so I can erase. And go in and clean this up a little bit. So once you go in, clean up all your drawing, see what it's like. Now we're gonna plan the contrast part. We used contrast for lines and shapes possibly, but we wanna create emphasis and contrast. And so what you can do is you can color this and have it different colors, and you can use colored pencils, you can use markers, you can use watercolors, or you can use your pencil set to create a black and white pattern and just use different pencils in here. I'm gonna do that, and I think it will look pretty interesting. So I'm gonna grab my pencils, and some pencils you may want to use for this are like your 6B or your 4B. I'll go 4B. I'll probably use them all. All right, so I have my pencil down here. I just want to plan this out. So I'm gonna put my 4H pencil away. What I'm thinking, I might leave the dots white. I think that might stand out, or I might do the background white. Let's see. Let me grab a B pencil, we'll just see. What do I want? Ooh, maybe I'll do the dots completely dark. So this is just where you plan it out. And we're gonna try to create contrast so it jumps off the page a little bit. So I'm filling this in. I'm gonna try to make these all sort of the same size here. I gotta say, that's adding some contrast right now. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. Well, what else can I do to add some contrast to this? I might use some skills that I have and you have. So I might grab like an H pencil, and I might hatch like radial lines. So lines that come from the center. So if you look at your line thing, I might hatch in this area, like it's all going to that center circle. I can move my paper if I need to. This might not be what you do, but it's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do. see if I like this. I'm just gonna do one section to see how it looks. It's okay. It's okay. I'm wondering maybe if I do another section, let's see. So the center line is there, so it's gonna come out here. Yours doesn't have to look like mine. Yours can be color. It's got like a starburst type of thing. All right, since I'm in the planning mode, I'm gonna do one with color and see if that changes anything in my understanding. I just have like a little marker right here. So do I like that, or would I like something like this? Now with marker, you can't erase, so that's why we have this little planning square. To see what it looks like. You can do mixed media like pencil and marker or watercolor if you like. These sort of attach right around there. Do I like that more? Ooh, what is causing more contrast? I think I'm gonna go with the marker part. I'm guessing. Let me just do another one just to see. So this goes down and through and over and then back up. Now we have some space. But do I want it to be black and white, or do I want to have color? So these are the choices you get to make and choose which one you want it to look like and how you want to create it. There's a lot of freedom there, and what pattern you come up with. Ooh, do I like that? Do I? All right, I think I might do this one just because it really pops that center one off the page a little bit and creates a lot of contrast. So yeah, I think I might do that, and we'll see how this turns out in a second. So I'm gonna go back to time-lapse mode so you can see me work, and I might definitely use those black dots because I think it really pops it off the page and gives it some contrast and some emphasis, especially leaving this one and these things white. So we'll see. I'm gonna go back in time-lapse mode and try to complete this. So here is my pattern. Here's my test pattern, what I was planning on doing, what I ended up doing. I may go back and take either my fountain pen or like a Sharpie and outline these things. I might erase some of these lines in here if I don't like them. But this is where I'm at right now in the process, and I think this is great enough to turn in. But you're going to create your own pattern, and remember it's going to be hand drawn inside of here. When you're coloring with colored pencils or markers, if you choose that, remember to color in a little circles like this, and that will even out your color, and it won't look as streaky. Like some younger people, when they color like this, and then it looks all streaky, and it doesn't look as great. And so just by doing small circles, you can fill it in and blend it, and it'll look smoother and it'll look a little bit more professional. So work on your pattern, and then make sure that it is a pattern that repeats and it's predictable, and then that it has some contrast. Remember, it's showing difference between the elements, and then it has emphasis. There's something that stands out and you want to look at it, and it becomes a focal point, okay? So work on yours, and then I can't wait. Take a picture of it and upload it once you're done. Remember, this isn't due until Friday or maybe even Monday. I'll give you Monday. So yeah, turn that in and once you have it, and you'll have the weekend to work on this as well. If you have any questions, please let me know.